All right, Elijah, we're going to read this together, and this is a screencast for you. We're going to read Chapter 2 tonight of our book on Helen Keller. Chapter 2. Mr. and Mrs. Keller wrote a letter to the Perkins Institution. The teacher wrote back, and her name was Annie Sullivan. Friends called her Annie. Annie agreed to come to live with the Kellers and to teach Helen. Helen was now almost 7 years old. On March 3rd, 1887, Annie moved to Alabama. It would turn out to be the most important day of Helen's life. As a child, Annie had been almost blind herself. Luckily, several operations helped her see again, but Annie never forgot what it was like to be blind. She hoped she would be able to help young Helen. Right away, Annie saw that Helen was a tall, pretty girl, but she also saw that Helen was not happy. She almost never smiled. Helen could not understand the world around her. She lived in darkness and in silence. She could not tell people how she felt. No wonder she was unhappy. Remember, she's blind and deaf. I can't even imagine. At first, Helen was not a good student. She did not obey Annie. Helen was used to having her own way. Her parents had allowed her to act out. They never punished her. They thought she could not control her behavior. Annie had to teach Helen everything. She was very strict and very young with her very young student. Helen was strong and stubborn, but so was Annie. Sometimes Helen pinched or hit Annie. When Helen hit her, Annie stopped her. Bit by bit, Helen learned to pay attention to her new teacher. Annie taught Helen many new things. She taught her to sit at the dinner table. She taught her to eat with a knife and fork and a spoon. She taught her to dress herself and brush her hair. Annie wanted to teach her students something that was even more important. She wanted to teach young Helen how to understand words. Can you imagine that in total darkness? At the Perkins Institution, Annie had learned a special finger alphabet. Different hand positions stood for different letters. She could speak to deaf people by spelling out words with her hands. Helen had lost her sense of sight and her sense of hearing, but she could still had her sense of touch. Annie tried to teach Helen the special alphabet. The spelling out one word after another inside Helen's hand. Helen copied Annie and repeated the finger movements. She learned how to spell doll, cake, milk, and mug, but she did not understand what the words meant. Annie tried over and over, but Helen still did not understand. One spring day, Annie and Helen went for a walk outside. Annie took Helen to a well. The teacher pumped some water and let it run over Helen's fingers. Slowly, she spelled out the word water into Helen's palm. Then she did it again and again. Suddenly, the little girl understood. The wet liquid and the word being spelled in her palm were the same thing, water. After that, Helen was quick to learn other words. One day, she learned 30 new words. Annie Sullivan was proud of her student. She could not believe how quickly Helen learned. Helen wanted to know everything. She had discovered a whole new exciting world. Annie called Helen's progress a miracle. Her accomplishments were amazing. She had done the impossible. Helen now knew how to express her thoughts. For the first time, she was happy. The crying fits stopped. Whenever Annie taught her a new word, Helen threw her arms around her teacher and kissed her. There it is. That's chapter 2. And we'll pick up with chapter 3 later.